In this video, we will cover how you can create your own kiosk induction or custom questionnaires. You will need to be an administrator to be able to complete this. From your home screen, we come up the top here to locations and using the drop down, select your location. We then come to the middle section here for the people presence settings and select your sign in out questions. From there, we'll jump over to the custom questionnaires tab. We need to create a new questionnaire, so we select the green button. We'll need to name the questionnaire. And you need to select your target audience. If this questionnaire is going to be presented to all three types of visitors or guests, you will need to build one at a time. So in this instance, this is our visitor induction, so we will select visitors. If we want to present the same thing to our contractors or visiting employees when they sign in, once we've completed the visitor one, we can actually clone this and change the target audience to be the contractor or employees. Under there is how often we want the questionnaire or the induction to present at the point of sign in. So is it every time they visit? Is it once only from the first time you publish that? Or did you want to use some other options? When we select the Every tab, you'll see that we have a drop down that presents that allows us to choose from these range of time frames how often this will present to that same returning visitor. I'll select 365 days for this one. Once we've completed that, we hit the save and we've completed our background settings. We now need to go in and start building the actual induction or questionnaire. We come down the bottom here and enter add question. And you'll see here we can either type in a question here or put in a title. So if you have a series of slides that have been saved as JPEG images that you would like to present to your visitors, we can actually put the title of the slide in here. If you are asking a question, of course you can type the question through here. Now your question type here are how they can either answer or how that is being presented. So with a text or paragraph text, it is if you've entered the question up the top here, you can have a couple of word answer that's typed out, or if they need to type out a fair bit of information, you can select the paragraph text. We also have the multiple or single choice options, so you can ask your question up here and then you can give your visitor either multiple things to choose from, or you can give them a single choice, so you can still type in 6 or 7 or 1 or 2 options and they can only choose the one. Multi-choice means that you can choose as many as required. A waiver, you can present the information in a reading format, and you can also select that your visitor will sign off on that. An image waiver is if we need to, or we want to upload those images or the slides that we've changed into an image. You can also add in a video. It must be an embedded video and it needs to be hosted by either YouTube or Vimeo. We can also have a date responder, so we can ask a question up the top here about what is your the expiry of your driver's license, for example, and we can select the date option so they're presented with a date format to be able to do. Or if you need them to upload a copy of a document, so you may want them to upload a scanned copy of their driver's license or passport or some other documentation that is required, you can actually ask them to upload a copy of that document by using either their kiosk, the iPad, which will need to have the scanning option available, or their mobile phone. In this one here, for this first example, we will be uploading a series of slides that we've saved as images. So for the first one, we'll actually enter in the name of the slide, which is our evacuation procedure. We'll then come down here to the image waiver, scroll down a little bit, and we're going to select add an image. This will then open up on your PC and allow you to select the images that you need to upload. So from here you'll see I've actually uploaded the image here, and you can also see next to that is the name of the slide or the image that I have it stored as on my PC. So from here I can actually highlight that, and using the delete on my keyboard I can remove that so it stops it from presenting underneath the image once we've added that. Now as I slide down here you'll see that I have some options available, so I can leave that blank and let the people just continue on, or I can click here to add an option to add in something along the lines of, you know, click here to confirm you understand, or yes or no, or one of those. I'll now come down to the bottom here. You'll see here that we've got some options here where we can have a timeout option. So if they've walked away, we can say that we'd like it to time out after a certain amount of seconds, and it'll delete everything and go back to the beginning. So anyone waiting in line doesn't have to wait for this person to come back to finish their sign in. And if you are presenting a lot of information that they need to read on this one particular slide, you can also pause this so they can't do next without reading things. So you can say that you want this to be paused for 10 seconds, for example. Then I'll click on the save and close, and you'll see that we've got our first slide added. As you're going, or at the end, you are also given the option to go through and preview what this particular question or what the series of questions will look like once you've done that. Select here on your preview, go to your touch or iPad, it doesn't matter which option you choose, and you'll see that this is what it will look like. The first slide that we've put through after your visitor has done your basic questions, their name, who they're here to see, etc. So you'll see here, I just click on the continue. It's only a preview, so nothing is registered. You can see it's the last one. Once I hit that close preview, I can come back in here and add another question. Once I add the next question, again, we'll be uploading a slide. Once I enter in the site rules, so it's another image waiver. I'll come down here. I will select an image. And you'll see here I've got number 2. Again, I'm going to highlight that and use the delete on my keyboard. If I make this a compulsory question here, that means that we do need to give them some options to choose from. So in this instance, I just want them to be able to read and click on the next button. And I'll save and close. I will enter in the third one. So we have add a question again. Again, this is another slide and it's another bout of site rules. So we do have a couple. We'll enter on that image waiver, scroll down, add an image. So it's just a matter of going through all of those slides that you would like to present. Now, again, I don't want them to acknowledge anything, I just want them to continue on. So I'll come down the bottom here and I'll select the save and close. Now the next question that we want to actually put in here is, I actually want to ask if the person who's visiting, does their visit include going into the warehouse? So from here, I will add a question, enter in my question, and this will be a single choice. So I'm going to give them 2 options, yes or no. As I scroll down here, and I do want to force an answer, so I don't want them to be able to click through without answering, so I do need to make that compulsory. So my options here will be yes, add another option, and no. Now I'm going to scroll down the bottom here. So if the visitor answers yes, they are going into the warehouse, I actually do want another slide to present to them. If they say no, I just want them to be able to complete their sign-in and go no further. So our next question is going to be what we call a parent question. So when I hit the save and close from here, I'm now going to add another question, and it's going to be, I'm going to present the minimum site PPE requirements for those people who are going into the warehouse. So from here, I'm coming down here to the image waiver, and I'm going to add an image and select the details for the minimum site PPE. I'm going to again remove that number, and I'm going to come down here. Now you'll see the parent question. So I only want this slide to present if my visitor has said yes, they're going into the warehouse. So when I hit the drop down for the parent question, you'll see here that I'm given those two options with the question yes or no. So if their visit requires them to go into the warehouse and the answer is yes, I will select that one. They will then be presented with this slide. If they say no, they will continue on. So from here, I will select the save and close, and you'll actually see underneath the question here, it does say if they answer yes, they'll be presented with the minimum PPE requirements. If they answer no, they won't be. So when we come to the top here for the preview, I'll select on the preview, select the option, and you'll see here is our evacuation procedure. We select next. Some of the site rules, we select next. The second lot of site rules, next. And you'll see here, does your visit require you to go to the warehouse? If I answer no, you'll see because this is just the preview, it just comes up to say that we've come to the end of this. If it was real and I was signing in, my sign-in would be completed unless I had other questions that come up. If I close that and I come back here to say yes, you'll see that that next slide presents because I've answered yes. Once I hit continue, you'll see we come to the end of the process. Now you can have as many parent questions as you need. You just need to remember that the answer that they provide for the question beforehand depends on that. So when you do create this new question down here, you need to select the parent question that says if you answer this, I want you to go down this pathway. So you can have multiples as you're going through. Once I'm finished in here, if this is the end of the custom questionnaire, from here I'm actually able to come in here and make this active. So I can make this live, turn it on for my kiosks from here. You'll see we have our status option and it currently says inactive. When I hit the drop down for inactive, you'll see I can select the activate button from here and then choose at what point and what mode I want this to be presented. So is it when a visitor signs in at our kiosk? Yes. If you have more than one kiosk, you can select the kiosks. So each kiosk can be set up differently if you would prefer to, or QR code poster. Our sign in, sign out manager, yes, I'd like them to be able to see that when they're signed in through the sign in, sign out manager as well. Our visitor pre-registration, so if we were pre-registering our visitor, we can also choose to send this through to them to complete before they come to site. In this instance, we won't have that one on. You can also create questions for sign out as well that you can present. Once I hit the save there, you'll see that this is now active and the questionnaire has been updated and it's ready to go. If I click here on the back to sign in out questions, you'll see that we've got the ID number, the name of the induction, the audience or the people that we want to complete this, and the frequency in which this will be presented. So for returning visitors, this one will be presented every 365 days. There are 5 questions. If I needed to make some changes to this, now that I've come out of here, I just need to select on the Manage button, find the question that I need to make that change to, and select the Edit button and make that change. If it's a new map or a new image, we can delete this one and simply click on Add an Image and bring in the new version of the image. Come down to the bottom and hit that Save and Close. I'll go back to the sign in out. If I want to turn this off, I don't have to go into the Manage option for here. If I no longer want this one to present, I also can come into the status from here. If I select the active, click on the Edit, I'm able to come in here and turn this off as required. So if I untick all of those and hit Save, you'll see that that is now made inactive. And of course, I can also activate it from there as well. You can add as many questionnaires as you need. Also, if you wanted this to present for your contractors or your employees, we simply hit the clone button from here. Say that yes, we would like to clone this one. Now from there, we would need to select the Manage button and come here to the Update the Questionnaire Details. From there, we can remove the word copy if need be. We can also change this to Contractor Induction and select your target audience as being your contractors. Once I hit the Save, again, I click here to make this active. And you'll see that we can have the sign in, sign out manager, and also because it's for contractors in the contractor module, we also have the ability to have that present if we allow them to sign in and out using the OnLocation mobile app. So I can tick all three or just tick up the top there to do all three. Once I select the Save and go back to the sign in out questions, you'll see that we now have the contractor induction up the top there and we have the visitor induction down the bottom. So depending on what person type they are when they're signing in, they'll be presented with these.